to thank you for the faith and strength to win the day. Your words bring light, your power never dies and takes my fears away. It's not the hardest thing to do. How can I question you? Throw my life into the fray, let go and live my life your way. Make these changes, make me strong. Lean to His grace to guide you on. Lord, I say from bend and kneel, do what you ask of me. Sweeten these dreams to make me see and believe what you've got coming. Is it worth our time to fight your right to ask me to obey? It's not the hardest thing to do. How can I question you? Throw my life into the fray, let go and live my life your way. Make these changes, make me strong. Lean to His grace to guide you on. Lord, I say from bend and kneel, do what you ask of me. Oh, 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 Lord, please visit as I pray. Make my dreams become the days. Like a child from a father's love, guide me as I'm growing up. It's not the hardest thing I'll do. This will be yours.
How you doing?
Welcome. So, will you guys share a little bit about what you learned about yourselves trying to get back to once you were trying to get to a healthy, happy place and be together?
Well, like I said, Todd and I were very, very young. We lost our mothers very young. I think that was the beginning. You know, when you don't have a mother, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't have a dad around, but when you don't have a mom, you know, you're alone. I mean, I was 12 and I saw my mother die actually in the hospital. So all those things developed the brokenness. Mm-hmm. And then so as I began to date and I met Todd, you know, Todd had that same, he had that same thing that going on. So it was very familiar that, man, your mother died too. Mm-hmm. So then we're like, oh, let's hang out, you know, because we're the same. But now broken meets
Plus,
broken.
she was fine. She was fine too.
But broken meets broken, right? So then you have a broken marriage, and then you have broken children, and you have broken relationships. Yep. And so that's what happened on and on throughout our marriage. And then, you know, Todd was seeking other things. I don't think I was able to give him everything when we were young.
She couldn't because the voids were too deep to be filled. With me stealing her innocence, because in all actuality, I corrupted our marriage from the beginning. And I brought the infidelity in. And she may have never went down that road. But my void and my brokenness was so deep from losing my mother, trying to fill that void with other women, not believing in God, so I had a huge void because I blamed God for taking my mother because we weren't taught properly. God did not take my mother. But that's what people tell you to comfort. Well, you know, God took your mom. Sometimes God does bad things to good people. Yeah. Oh, really? Right? So I didn't want anything to do with him. So that was a huge void that was created that no matter how many women I was with, and the hole was an abyss. It wasn't getting filled.
And Todd was never going to leave me. He had mentioned that it was not about me leaving you. He goes, I just needed to get away. I was stressed. I was stressed that I was he was a new husband, and he was a young husband, so he didn't know how to be a husband like you guys talked about. It's hard when you're especially that young, and so we went through so much turmoil during that time, and it just got worse.
What did it take ultimately for you to learn even what you're saying now, right? Because you were oblivious to it. What did it take?
Whew. It took some really difficult times, and Todd started to see, oh my God, if I don't get out of this situation, if I don't stop doing this, I'm really going to lose Alicia. And then so for me, God. I had to have God in my life. Whenever we slipped away from God and didn't answer to God, we were back into, like he says, the abyss. We were back out in the street, back looking for something that made us feel good. And ultimately, God brought us back here.
It's been about 15 years since we started to get on track. But even though we were on track that far back, we still weren't healed.
Yeah, there was still brokenness.
From our past brokenness that we caused in our marriage. So that took time to really recognize and address, because we were notorious for running or burying it under the rug.
There was a big infidelity in New York that took me 10 years to heal from.
10 years.
10 years.
And we were going through the motions, because with that infidelity, you don't want to wish it on your worst enemy. We had to experience murder through that. I was held at gunpoint with my own gun and watched the mistresses I was living with at that time killed in front of me, which she had to bear that burden too.
Yeah.
We lost our home to arson.
Our home was burned down.
Then an innocent person was killed rushing to the fire of our house burning down because of our mess.
It was hard to get through, and we had some counseling, and we thought that we were okay when we left New York. We thought we were okay because the counseling was intense. And then we moved out here, and
swept it under the rug.
He swept it under the rug.
And I'm like, why couldn't we have this 15 years ago? But I guess it's all in God's timing, because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have the testimony to go through to give people hope that you can,
We were assigned to write. We were assigned to write these letters of forgiveness during this program that Hassani had.
Okay, give me the tissue.
And don't make me cry now. And he gave us hours to write these letters, and then we came back and then we had to read them. And Todd read his first, and within 2 minutes we were all like boo-hooing in there. There was tears and wet carpet everywhere, and wet carpet, and he just spoke from his heart, and I really felt the realness that I needed, And then when it was my turn, I did the same thing. But the one thing that was said in there that was, I guess, explosive for Todd was that I owned up to my infidelity, and I said, I am truly, truly sorry for doing what I did, and I accept my own truth. I accept who I am. I accept what I did. And he bawled. He said, I've been waiting 4 or 5 years for you to admit, not because of what I did, but because of what you did. And I didn't even realize that.
I was crying like a baby.
Like, it impacted him like that. I didn't realize how necessary that was for me to accept my faults. And it actually made me feel good, because I finally felt, I felt like I was opening up to my truth.
Over soon, keep me close as I'm lost amongst the fray. Will these changes make me strong? Your grace makes all things possible. Life has brought me to my knees. God of heaven, please believe I'll do what you ask of me. to thank you for the faith and strength to win the day. Your words bring light, your power never dies and takes my fears away. It's not the hardest thing to do. How can I question you? Throw my life into the fray, let go and live my life your way. Make these changes, make me strong. Lean to His grace to guide you on. Lord, I say from bend and kneel, do what you ask of me. Speak these dreams to make me see and believe what you've got coming. Is it worth our time to fight your right to ask me to obey? It's not the hardest thing to do. How can I question you? Throw my life into the fray, let go and live my life your way. Make these changes, make me strong. Lean to His grace to guide you on. Lord, I say from bend and kneel, do what you ask of me. Oh, 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 Lord, please visit as I pray. Make my dreams become the days. Like a child from a father's love, guide me as I'm growing up. It's not the hardest thing I'll do. This will be over soon. Keep me close as I'm lost amongst the fray. Will these changes make me strong? Your grace makes all things possible. Life has brought me to my knees. God of heaven, please believe I'll do what you ask of me. Oh, oh, oh. I'd like to thank